I believe that the last forum there may have been some concerns about getting TfL's buy-in to this and support. So I just want to reassure you on this really. Firstly, I'd say that this regeneration scheme is hugely important to the borough. It's also hugely important to the mayor, and that is very clear to us. So therefore it's very important to us, and it's very important to us that we find a solution for the transport that works. And it's in everybody's interest that we do find a solution that works. It benefits no one if we can't get a solution that works. So, in fact, we've made a huge investment. Can it be hear me? Is it working?
You could hold it a bit closer.
It's not that. It's cutting in and out, I think.
Try another one.
Thank you very much. Is that better? Yes, so just to reassure you the extent of our commitment, first of all, to this area. First of all, as you know, we've completed now the southern gyrator removal, and that took quite a while. We learned a lot from that. So the further work we intend to do on the road network here, in particular the northern gyratory, should be a bit easier, having learned from that. But we have, I think that's a very clear sign of our commitment to the area and the fact that we've invested in that. We've also invested very heavily in developing designs for the rest of the area, in particular the road network around the development, the northern gyratory and the tube station, the Northern Line station. We've been at this for a heck of a long time. We've spent a lot of money, a lot of officer time on this. And we've been working closely with Southwark and initially Lend-Lease throughout this. So that's what you don't see, is the amount of work that has gone into this. And we're continuing that collaboration. In fact, it's getting more intense, if anything, as things progress. So we're continuing to commit resources to that collaboration with Southwark, Lend-Lease, and now St Modlins, the shopping centre owner, have joined in of necessity because the Northern Line station will, of course, need to be integrated into their development. We have agreed a way forward between the parties. We have clarity about how we take this forward to resolution, the resolution of the transport to support the planning process. We have initial designs. You see a couple of, that one there is a bit sort of artist impression-y. I think we've got, certainly on the Northern Line station, we're working on very specific designs, but we're still doing a bit of optioneering to find the way of doing it at least cost that gives the customers and the area, the community, what they need. On the gyratory, this is still very much an initial. We've put a lot of work and modelling into this, but there is further work required. For the planning process, it's not necessary for us to have every detail of this designed and it's approved, designed and approved at a technical level, a detailed level. But it is, we do need to have sufficient to be able to say, yes, we have a workable scheme more or less, we know what it costs, and that will inform and enable the planning process. So that's the immediate aim, we're doing sufficient work here to give clarity around the planning process, and we're all committed to making that work. I can again just repeat that we are working very hard between all the parties to get to that solution as quickly as possible. As I said, I know there's a lot of concern about the gyratory. I've been talking to my colleague in surface transport, who ultimately will be responsible for implementing this. He is acutely aware that this is an important issue for many road users, and each road user will have a different view. We're trying to get a balanced solution, one that actually meets all the road users' needs. And that work, as I say, will continue beyond the planning process. We've got to make sure we give the pedestrians a safe and pleasant environment to use. And we're all think pedestrians at some stage of our journey. And it's about, surface crossings, removing the subways. Now we're confident we can do that. We can, within surface crossings, we can remove a lot of the guard railing. We might retain one subway just to provide backup for high capacity movement in morning peaks. But we know in principle we can do this. We want to make it safe for cyclists. We know that it's not a particularly good place for cyclists at the moment, but we want to make it better for cyclists. We want to make sure it's as safe as it can be and as easy for cyclists to use. Buses. we have to make sure there's a very high volume of buses go through here. We think, we're not absolutely certain, but we're pretty sure this is probably the biggest bus facility, bus interchange, certainly in the country and maybe in Europe and elsewhere. It is massive, the number of buses that go through here. They are by far the highest proportion of road users. Just the number of buses alone is the highest proportion of traffic going through here, let alone the volume of passengers they carry. So we have to make sure that works. And other road traffic, we have to make sure that works as well. What we want to make sure is that we don't have huge queues of traffic at the traffic lights, belching out smoke or whatever, and noise. So we have to make sure that that's reasonably smooth. So my colleague Ben Plowden in Surface is very keen to make sure that whatever we do, we make it right for the pedestrians and the cyclists. So that work will continue. And as I say, we're pretty close to a solution, but don't think that's what's going to be built. It'll be something pretty much like that. But there will be further detailed design work, and there will be consultation with the borough. We will work with with Southwark, as we usually do. Any public consultation, we will do that hand in hand with the borough, and you will learn more about that in due course. That's probably beyond the planning stage, maybe not, but it's not directly tied into the planning process. Just to conclude, I would say we're fully committed. We're working very closely together, and I think maybe Lend-Lease and someone are getting sick of the sight of us, but we are, and the borough, but we are working together, and the immediate challenge is to make sure we've got something that will support the planning process, and then we will finish the design and the construction in due course. That's all I was going to say. Do you want to